super excited for this training today because, I love spending time with you guys. And I did this training earlier with my Lean on Laurel students, and so many of them had so many light bulb moments. And it was really kind of cool to see because so many people teach you guys how to overcomplicate this process. And so today, what I want to help you guys accomplish is, are you doing the right things in order to help you reach your marketing goals in 2022? Okay. And we're going to jam back and forth, but I want to go over the basics just so that everyone, because I know there's a couple of new people here, and welcome to all of our new people. And if you haven't experienced a lot of time with me on these calls, one of the things that you're going to see is that I do things a little bit different than everyone else. I have a different background. My background is not in internet marketing. I actually have a background in television marketing. And over the last couple of years, I have ran an agency, and I still do, that runs ads for high ticket coaches. I've ran ads in the e-com space. I ran ads for low ticket, and I've got a ton of experience. And after literally running ads for, oh my gosh, like over 100 coaches, consultants, service providers in the high ticket space, there's a lot of things that I've learned that a lot of these gurus that you see online are way overcomplicating things. And the way that I work is very mathematical. I like doing simple math. How many of you guys love doing simple math? What if you knew there was a math problem that you could do, and it would literally unlock all of the strategies that you need in order to improve your marketing for 2022? That's what we're going to talk about today. And the first thing that I want to talk about is I want to challenge you to make 2022 the year that you actually take control of your marketing. A lot of times people come into this program and they tell me, well, should I join your program or should I hire an agency? Now, I run an ad agency, and so I can tell you from experience, there are very few good ones and a lot of shitty ones. How many of you guys have ever had your ads with an ad agency and just got zero results? And so here's one of the things that I want to challenge everyone in this program, whether you want to run your own ads or whether you want to hand them off to an agency one day. What I want you to accomplish in this program is being able to take control of your marketing, because here's the thing. So many people put this in the hands of an agency that doesn't care where your next lead comes from. They don't care how much you're spending. They're just caring about how much money they're making, right? And there are a few good agencies. I happen to run I would say a good agency. All of my clients have been with me for 2.5 years, which is why I don't take on clients, because my clients stay. And the reason that my clients stay is what I'm going to show you guys tonight, because here's the thing. I tell everyone who comes through the door of this program that you should learn how to do your own ads so that you don't have to depend on an agency to do it. You can delegate them to do it, because how cool would it be if you knew all of the ads that worked, how to create the content, the strategy to follow? And what if you could just take an $8 an hour VA and just say, hey, here's what I need you to do? That's what so many people in my Lean on Laurel program are doing right now. They come in, they come to the coaching calls, and then they have a VA that does all of the button pushing for them. We're saving them thousands of dollars. You're going to be saving thousands of dollars by being able to apply the same principle that I'm doing with my higher level clients. The same thing. And so in this program, I have laid out everything that we do for my agency clients, because in the event that you want to hire out doing ads, you're going to know exactly how much to follow, what your ad spend should be, what your profit projection should be. Because if you go into having an agency do the work for you, you're going to be armed with a really good strategy so that you know whether or not they're doing it correctly. And that's what I hope to accomplish with this program, right? So we're going to be going over that tonight, because what I want to give to you guys is a solvable problem, okay? So there is a couple of steps that we need to take in order to do that. And I'm actually going to use myself as an example. and some of my agency clients. Okay, we're gonna get down, because if you're the first time here, a lot of my regulars know how transparent I am. I am always happy to share anything, and I just love showing you guys a realistic way to do things, because guys, I see the ads that you see, trust me, shiny object to the T, but everyone is teaching you guys the same thing. They're just coming up with new flashy words in order to identify them. Okay, so I'll give you an example of that. Like the other day I was looking and I saw a Facebook ad, and it was this hot new method. That's the way that they literally marketed it. This hot new method to hijack your competitor's traffic. I did a little research and I was like, all they're doing is teaching people how to use interest-based targeting. But they came up with this hot traffic hijacking concept, right? But it was just literally showing them how to target like your competitors on using Facebook ads. That was all it was. So I want to just help you guys get a grasp on what is it that should you be doing moving forward. Okay. So here's the big thing. Okay. Step one, you have to get clear on what you want. This is a big one, and pay attention. Okay. Pay attention to this. Are you optimizing for cash flow, or are you optimizing for scalability? I have people that come into my program, and Lean on Laurel is not excluded from this. I even get people who are at a higher level that come into my program and they want to make $50,000 a month or some big number that they think that they're supposed to be making. And they have a low ticket offer, or they have a list building funnel. Those two things are designed for scalability, not for cash flow. Okay. Inside the $7 program, if you go to the Get Ready protocol, you're going to see a couple of calculators. That's going to give you a realistic look at what should my ad spend be and what could I expect when it comes to profits. And so one of the first things that you have to get clear is, am I optimizing to get cash flow, or am I optimizing for scalability? If you're running a low ticket offer funnel that leads into a high ticket offer, I always get my students to reverse engineer that and say, okay, let's not look at this low ticket offer. Let's get as many people into this high ticket offer so that we can get cash flow. And I get this all the time. Well, Laurel, I want people to give me some money before I can validate that they're of value. I will tell you this, if you are running a slow offer, you're going to want to go for scalability and not cash flow, because I say this all the time, and you may agree with me or you may disagree with me, but slow funnels are the slowest path to cash. Slow funnels are great for scalability, but they suck for cash flow. So if you go to the slow strategy inside my $7 program, I do the numbers for you. So that's the first step, because some people here are like, well, my funnel starts with a low ticket offer, and then I'm going to get X amount of people into this low ticket offer, and then they're going to buy my high ticket offer, but then they're trying to do cash flow. If you're looking for cash flow, that is the absolute slowest way and the fastest way to actually lose money on Facebook ads. So that's the first thing that you have to understand is, are you optimizing your goals for 2022? Are you optimizing them for cash flow, or are you optimizing them for scalability? Okay. Step number 2, we're going to figure out your solvable problem. Okay. So here's what I mean by that. Every one of us has a solvable problem. Like I was telling you guys earlier today, I had a Lean on Laurel student, and she is launching a high ticket offer for the first time. And her 90-day goal is $15,000 in revenue. So for 90 days, she wants to make $15,000 in revenue. So her offer is $5,000 a month. And so if she sells one $5,000 a month, that's going to get her to her $15,000 in revenue. Now, on the other end of that, okay, the other end of that, I had a person who has never been on the phone with any clients, and they put their 90-day goal as they want $100,000 in revenue. And I was like, that ain't realistic. It's not going to happen. And, you know, and I get it. Like, there's so many offers out there that's like, well, I want to, you know, make, you know, $100,000 in 90 days. I guarantee the only people who are making $100,000 in 90 days are people like me who have a very optimized funnel and have been doing it for a very long time. And so don't worry, we're going to get a little mix of both. Okay. So I know people are already asking questions. Well, can you do a mix of both? So organic marketing with a lower ticket workshop offer? Absolutely. And I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm actually going to show you guys how I did it with my $7 offer, right? Because that's the real thing. Y'all are like, well, Laurel, I'm in your $7 program. Don't you do low ticket offers? Yes, I do. But I want to go over like these kind of basic concepts, right? Because you either have a lot of time or you have a lot of money. Maybe you have a little bit of both. And the example that I show you, I had a little bit of both. And what I'm going to show you today is something that I do with my mentor every single 90 days. And every single 90 days, I have grown my business. Ever since I started working with my mentor in October of 2019, I have grown my business every single month since then, using exactly what I'm going to show you guys tonight. So one of my Lean on Laurel students, she's like, well, I want to release this new offer. And at first she was like, well, you know, is it realistic for me to have $50,000 in revenue? And I was like, well, if you don't know how to book calls or have messenger conversations, that's probably a little bit out of reach, right? So this particular student, she wanted to use all organic because she doesn't have the cash flow to use Facebook advertising. And that's fine. You guys have access to my 7-day organic marketing sprint. As a matter of fact, the strategy that's in there, I made my first and second 6 figures just using organic, and it's all here in the $7 program. And by the way, that strategy that I used and it's in this program is something that other gurus sell this for thousands and thousands of dollars, but you guys have access to it for like $7. So let's say your 90-day goal is, you know, let's be realistic, 15,000 in revenue. Here's the thing about that though. If you're brand new to marketing, right, we want to do a solvable problem. Okay. Solvable problem. Remember this. We're going to talk about this a lot tonight. We have to figure out our solvable problem. If she wants to have a 90-day goal of $15,000 in revenue, she won't directly have a solvable problem if she's never made sales, if she's never hopped on a call, if she's not getting messenger conversations, right? So we changed this goal for her. And so we changed this goal. Instead of her 90-day goal being $15,000 in revenue, we started her 90-day goal as having 1,000 connections, because we wanted to start with something that we can measure. Because I guarantee you, if in 90 days she makes 1,000 connections and follows my client accelerator 2-step like she wants to do, she's going to have messenger conversations, she's going to have calls, and she's going to have sales. And then the next quarter, she's going to have a solvable problem, because then she's going to have the number. I made X amount of connections. From those connections, I had X amount of messenger conversations. From those messenger conversations, I had X amount of calls. And then from those calls, I had X amount of sales. So the hard part is making your way to the solvable problem. Okay. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm actually going to share a real life example. Like I said, me and my mentor go through this exercise every 90 days. And so what I'm actually going to share with you guys is my 90-day plan that I had back in April to June of 2020. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of context. I started working with my mentor in October of 2019. At that time, I was not running Facebook ads to my $7 program, yet I had hundreds of members inside my $7 program. The way that I was getting people in were these two tactics right here. I was using my client accelerator two-step, meaning I was going live, offering people something of value. They would comment for it, and I would have a messenger conversation. Now, here's the thing, and this is what's super, super important for you guys to know, right? We have to have a solvable problem for everything. My solvable problem was I can close almost everyone I have a conversation with in Messenger for the $7 offer, right? So my solvable problem is if I can get 300 comments and have 300 Messenger conversations, I can get 300 people into my $7 program, right? That was my first solvable problem. Here's the problem with that. This takes an insane amount of time. This is how I grew my $7 program from the start. I brought in over 400 people just doing this strategy. Did it take me a long time? Yes. I still had a full-time job when I started too. The next thing I used was a tactic to do 10 guest trainings in other people's groups, which, by the way, guys, inside the organic strategies, these are all of the strategies that I'm going over right now in my checklist, right? So we want to first have a 90-day goal, but yet we want to create a solvable problem. Okay. And I'm going to take questions here in a little bit because I know that this can get very, very complicated. But check this out. Remember, at the time that I did this, April to June of 2020, I had started working with my mentor. And in January of 2020, I started paid advertising. So I had a solvable problem. By January of 2020, I launched my very first advertising to get people into my $7 program. And I was averaging $11 per customer. So meaning that in order to get 300 new people into the $7 group, all I had to do was spend $3,300. That was a solvable problem. This helped me collapse time so that I didn't have to do this. So what I'm challenging you guys tonight is take your 90-day plan. What is that one measurable result? Because here's the thing. If you're like my client who's never had any calls, if you're trying to get high ticket sales, you have to walk before you run. You have to crawl before you walk, and you have to stand up on your own 2 feet before you can do anything else, right? So we have to know what is our solvable problem. Some of you guys have already been booking calls. Some of you guys have already having messenger conversations. Some of you are already having connections. My client in my Lean on Laurel program, she's like, I don't have any ad spend, so I'm going to go all organic. So I was like, cool. She's splitting between the Client Accelerator two-step on Facebook and LinkedIn direct outreach. And so she's got a VSL. And so she's going to be making connections, getting people to watch her VSL, having messenger conversations. And so now, after the next 90 days, she's going to have a solvable problem. Because some of you guys don't have a solvable problem. Does this make sense? Let me know in the comments. Does this make sense? I'm going to show you guys a little bit more sophisticated way to do this, because some of you guys are like, well, Laurel, I'm already running ads. I'm already running organic. I'm already running a webinar. You think you guys can handle something a little bit sophisticated? You guys ready for that? Yep. So as far just asked a really good question. Hey, Laurel, how do you track connections? Is that just opt-ins? No, connections is friending people and making friend requests. That's connections here. Remember, she's doing this organically. So she's making connections. She's giving them value by sending them her VSL, right? You guys have probably got bothered by people on LinkedIn that, just send stuff. Okay, cool. Everyone says it's making sense. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys something super, super high level. Okay. I want you guys to do monthly funnel audits, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. And you're going to be like, holy shit, this is a lot of stuff, but I think you guys can handle it. Okay. I think you guys can handle it. So one of my agency clients, and yeah, it's my handwriting. I suck at handwriting. But as I work with my agency clients, I always document everything so that I can use it for examples. Okay. So I got on a call with my client and here's where we are. We're currently at about 120K a month. Okay. Our ad spend is $7,200 a month. Not bad, right? How many of you guys would spend $7,200 to make 120K a month? That's not bad, right? So she's got a $6,000 a month program. And we're getting on average about 20 sales. Okay. Now here's the solvable problem. We used to be at $5,700 a month in ad spend to make 120K. So we're spending almost $2,000 more than we were over the last several months, which is fine. But for fun, and this is why my agency clients love me, is she happy with making 120K a month with $7,200 in ad spend? Yes, but I love solvable problems. And this is what I'm going to walk you guys through. Okay. Is I want to get her back down to spending $5,700 in ad spend and actually making 30K. We skipped steps 3 and 4, but I'll go back to them. Because this step right here goes directly with what I just talked about. So that's the challenge, okay? So she wants to increase her gross income by 30K, but not spend any additional ad spend, right? Most people would be like, well, if we want to make more money, we have to spend more in ads. I don't think that to be the case. And this is why my clients love me, is because I always accept the challenge every single month to find black holes that we can plug up so that they can spend even less money in ad spend. So stick with me here. Okay. Stick with me. So that's a solvable problem. Okay. So just to be total transparent, because I want you guys to think about this. Okay. I'm going to show you guys something really cool. So she gets about 1,100 leads a month with that ad spend. 1,100 leads. That's a lot of leads, right? So top of funnel ads, meaning cold ads, we spend $5,970. That's cold, going straight to her webinar. She does a live webinar twice a month. The FF and the Hot 7, those are 2 retargeting sequences that I do. So we spend 240 and 420. Her power content, you guys are familiar with power content. I teach it in the $5 ad strategies. YouTube ads, we run the same YouTube ad that I teach in the $7 program, and also the Google display ads for $60 that I teach here in the $7 program. Okay. So we spend $5,900 on straight cold traffic to her webinar. And then we spend $1,230 on retargeting. Now I'm going to show you guys how I do a funnel audit. Okay. Again, I'm a very visual person, so don't laugh at my drawings. My Lean on Laurel students love to laugh at my drawings, but I do this on my whiteboard every single month. I'm going to open up the chat. Who wants to tell me where the biggest black hole is right now in the looking at this, right? So just so that I explain, this is the number of conversations right here from her power content, right? So she's doing her client accelerator two-step using paid ads and organic right here. She's got her cold ads to her webinar that's converting at 36%. She doesn't have an OTO or an order bump. We go straight from webinar to application for a call and then straight to a phone call. These are all of her open rates. This is the Facebook group strategy that I teach here in the $7 program. We call it the graduation framework. So you can see her pinned post has this many comments this past month. Her problem solving post has this many comments, this many messenger conversations, this many calls, this many sales. The live workshop, very similar to the one that I'm doing right now. I teach my clients to do the same thing. So out of this entire funnel, where should I go to find how to achieve that goal, that solvable problem? So one of the things that you're going to notice is I don't have retargeting on this funnel audit, because the way that I look at retargeting is it's just lagniappe. It's something extra. I don't measure KPIs for retargeting. Okay. Retargeting is just extra money, which is awesome, right? So where do you guys see the biggest black hole? Every single month I do a funnel audit, and I'm going to give you guys this sheet right here, because some of you guys just want to do organic. Some of you guys have low-hanging fruit in your Facebook group. Some of you guys want to figure out how to troubleshoot your funnel. All of that is here inside the program. I just want you to figure out tonight, what is your solvable problem? We go back here. Where's the biggest black hole that you guys see? Where can I find my client a big old chunk of cash? She only has one offer. It's a $6,000 program. So her average order value is 6,000. There's no average order value. It's just 6,000. She just sells a $6,000 product. So Brittany, one of the things that I talk about, and it's in the onboarding video, is black holes in marketing, right? Throughout our entire funnel, there's black holes. And that's a really good question, by the way, Brittany. And by the way, I'm glad that you're here. When I mean black holes, it's where are leads falling through the cracks, right? So think about a black hole as like, let's say you have a water faucet and you're trying to fill a 5-gallon bucket. And let's say that 5-gallon bucket has a whole bunch of holes. I will say this, in most funnels, the biggest black hole is here, right? How many of you guys have ever opted in for something and no one ever opened your emails? Everyone ghosted you, right? That happens all the time. This is the biggest black hole. But in this client's case, the biggest black hole is not right here. Yep. Jovan. She had a lot of comments and messenger conversations, but right here. No, does anyone see this? Like, you can't unsee it. Every one of you guys are going to be like, oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this. She had 59 calls and only closed 15 sales. Huge black hole. I could literally easily help her listen to her sales calls, how they're going. It's it's average close rate, but she's been closing way more than that. And what happened is she actually hired a closer. She went from doing her own sales calls to hiring a closer. So now we know, okay, we should probably look at how that person's closing. She went from having a 40 to 50% close rate to, yeah, in the 20%, something like that. It's huge. Anyone want to spot the second black hole? Yeah, that's so Joni says a Facebook group conversations. Yes, abso-freaking-lutely. Ding, 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 ding. Robin, teacher's pet. Look at this. 170 people attended her live workshop and she only got 29 apps. But there's a lot of, and here, so here's the reason I'm showing you guys this. By the way, there's also a huge black hole here. Check this out. So when my clients use the two-step, or my students, right, they're making connections and sending out calendars. Look how many calendar invites. So they send out a calendar invite when that person is qualified for a phone call. Look at this, 46 calendars sent, and only 19 of those calls got booked. So I'm going to give high fives to the people who said the live workshop and this right here, because definitely room for improvement. But here's the thing, and this is what I want you guys to understand, is that most people, when they look at this stuff, they would be like, oh, my ads don't work. Her ads work pretty darn good. But until we plug up these black holes, now think about this. Now, this is why I'm showing you guys this, okay? If we plug up this black hole here and this black hole here, right? Because once people watch her webinar, she throws them into a Facebook group, okay? So yeah, Jovan is saying she makes one sale every 26 connections. I love that you caught on to that, because that's a solvable problem, right? That's awesome. That's exactly what kind of light bulbs I wanted you guys to go off tonight. And we're going to open this discussion up a little bit, because I know some of you guys are like, well, how does this work for me? And we're going to talk about that. The one thing that I want to leave this screen with is, if we plug up this black hole, right? If we plug it up and we make it super tiny, and then we plug up this black hole in her Facebook group, right? And we plug this up here. If we do more organic two-steps, and if we can improve these CTR all rates, right? Like, remember, average CTR all needs to be 3%. This is only 2%. CTR link click-through needs to be 1 point something%. This is only 0.75%. So if we increase the amount of click-through rates, everything around the other funnel automatically gets better. So that's the important thing that I want you guys to realize, is that sometimes we optimize the wrong things to get what we want. Okay. I'll give you guys an example. Okay. I had a Lean on Laurel client today, hop on a call, and she got really upset that her lead costs were $54 a lead. Okay. $54 a lead. It was a super, super small niche. Her value per lead was over $300, and she was worried about $50 leads, where every value per lead is over $300. These are the kinds of things that I want you guys to be aware of. And what I want to help you guys figure out, we go back, what is your solvable problem? Once you figure out what your solvable problem is, right? If I go back and I share this, each of these are my solvable problems. Now, in April of June of 2020, someone was asking, well, what if you split organic and paid? This is exactly what I did, because here's the thing. I already have a solvable problem because I've been doing this. Is if I can close 1 in 3 live coaching calls when I'm a guest in someone's Facebook group, I can easily close 1 in 3. That's a solvable problem. Then my tactic could be, well, I could do 10 guest trainings in other people's Facebook groups, and that'll get me to my $300 goal. This other solvable problem is, well, I can put in $3,300 into Facebook ads. That'll get me my 300 new people. Or I can sit there and have conversations with 300, 400 people. That'll get me to my 300 person goal. But what am I optimizing for? Do I want more time back? Or do I want to keep more money and spend more time doing it? These two right here will give me some of my time back. And so that's what I want you guys to get clear on, right? So that step number 3, going back to step number 3, is you're going to do a tactic audit. Oops, accidentally closed that out. There we go. So tactic number 3, what tactics did you do this year that worked? Add that to your 90-day goal and do more of that. But here's the thing, right? If we go back to what I just did here, is my goal to really spend more time on social media? Or do I want to continue to run Facebook ads and let Facebook ads leverage that for me? And so that's what I want to show you guys tonight, is like, what worked for you, and can you do more of it? Or do we need to find a way that you can collapse time and get some time back? Right? So step 3 is doing a tactical audit. And step 4 is creating a daily tactical cheat sheet. So whenever I was doing this, let me go back here, and you guys have access to this in the program. Whenever I was doing this, I did my client accelerator 2-step. I knew exactly what I was going to do. I followed the 7-day organic marketing sprint that I have for you guys inside the program. When I was doing this, I followed exactly what I did in the $7 program. As I'm showing you guys this stuff here, how to build a profitable Facebook group, how to get instant credibility. These are the things. Borrow someone else's audience. These are all of the strategies that I used in order to borrow someone else's audience so that I can reach my goal without having to spend $3,300 in ads. Sometimes running advertising doesn't make sense. For me now it does, because I already have my solvable problem. If I can do this, I'll run ads all day long. Does that make sense? So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to allow you guys to unmute yourself. And so as you're building out your 90-day plan, I don't want you to build it out for 2022, because if you build out a plan for 2022, it's going to be a waste of money. It's going to be a waste of time, right? Because time is money. Wouldn't you rather find your solvable problem now, especially for those of you guys who are starting from scratch and don't have that solvable problem yet? You still do, because if you're starting from scratch, you can say, okay, you know what? I'm going to make it my goal to have 1,000 conversations in the next 90 days. That's 333 conversations a month. That's 10 conversations a day, roughly. Who can't have 10 conversations a day? Does anyone have questions? By the way, guys, inside the $7 program, I give you an easy way to solve a problem. Look, calculate your ad budget and your profit projections. Like if you're doing a discovery call strategy, if you want more discovery calls, this calculator will give you your solvable problem. If you run a list building or lead magnet ads like webinars, challenges, ebooks, this calculator, I've done the work for you. This will give you your solvable problem. If you're running a low ticket offer like ecom, or you're running a slow funnel that leads to a higher ticket offer, this calculator will do your solvable problem for you. It's all under the Get Ready protocol, calculate your ad budget. All of those, I've done your solvable problem for you for those of you guys who are running ads. Anyone have any questions?
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know if this is allowed or anything or off topic, but so I'm newly a freelancer on my own. And I'm just realizing like they're taking your course, like I feel like I haven't been well trained by like the agencies I've worked for on ads, and I'm learning so much. So thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
I was wondering if you have any things, if you have any resources for like helping to determine pricing and like returning value to your client in terms of like, should you guarantee, a certain amount of leads? Should you charge per lead, or should you price for just running and managing ads? And if you just had any resources for that, because I think that would help me to wrap my head around numbers better.
Yeah, so I don't have any resources on how much you should charge or anything like that. Like, just to give you an example. So whenever I first started my agency, I charged $497 a month. I worked my way up to $2,000 a month and then 10% of profit share, right? But the most important thing, Brittany, is those calculator exercises that I just showed you guys, when you're on a strategy call with a prospect for your services, make sure that you do that calculator exercise with them and let them know, hey, this is what we could expect. Like, and know your niches, right? Because certain niches will have a X amount per lead. Some niches will have a $20 per lead. But the most important thing is doing that. Like every single time that I get a Lean on Laurel client, or if I'm helping someone with a launch, we always start with that calculator exercise, because some people after that exercise, they're like, shit, I'm not even ready. I don't even have the budget to do that. Right. And so that's the most important thing, is one, doing that calculator exercise so that your clients know, because if they have an unproven funnel, you cannot guarantee anything, right? Like testing a funnel is hard. And so I always tell people, do the calculator exercise up until 500 leads or 500 clicks. If they don't have the budget to at least get 500 leads, if they're running a webinar or some type of lead magnet, or if they don't have the budget for 500 clicks plus your ad fees, they're not ready to run ads.
Thank you. That helps a lot.
Yep, absolutely. And that's why I'm here. Because like I said, I have ran ads for hundreds of coaches now, and I have seen it all. I have made all of the mistakes. Totally transparent about that. But the whole like marketing world right now, you have to make some risk, right? Like for instance, right, whenever I wanted to make the crossover from doing all organic to saving myself some time, there was some risk when I first launched my Facebook ads. I didn't know whether or not those were going to work, right? So I had to say, okay, for the next 90 days, I am willing to part with this amount of money and expect zero to come back. Because that's what testing is, right? And so I always tell my clients, if like, if I don't have the big girl panties to put that amount of money out and not freak out when it doesn't come back to me right away, I'm not ready to run ads. Yep. So Billy just said, yep, solvable problem as in what we solve. Yes. Right. So if we look at, right, if we look at mine, going back for every single strategy, I had a solvable problem. Now, some of you guys, right, you might not know this yet because you haven't had enough conversations. And so you should start from the basics. Okay. So if you've never had a conversation with people in Messenger and you've never sold anything, you know, your goal might be, I'm going to connect and have conversations with at least 1,000 people over the next 90 days. It's a big one. Like whenever I first started, my mentor, he gave me a challenge. And this is when I still had a full-time job. When I first started my business, my mentor said, here's what you should do. Over the next 60 days, I want you to have 70 different conversations with people at 20 minutes apiece. And so for 60 days, I made it a point to talk with one person a day for at least 20 minutes over the phone. Then I had a solvable problem, right? Had a really good solvable problem. I knew how many of those people I was talking to. That's how I filled my agency for the first time. Because if you get 70 people on the phone, you could fill anything really quickly, right?
Hey,
Yeah,
Laurel,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, hey Laurel, can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is really cool, going through the funnel audit. Thank you for that. And
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess just looking at that, I've just been studying it in the last 5 minutes quite closely. And I was just wondering, so where you have the all the emails, it looks like there's a series of emails that come after someone opts in, and you've got all these open rates and clicks. But on this funnel audit, it doesn't show the connection between the emails and the resulting calls and the resulting sales.
Yep, that's a really Yep, it's a really good question. So here, let me go back to that. It's a really good question. So here, whenever I look at funnel, this is the funnel and these are the emails when they opt into the webinar. So these are the emails. So when I'm talking about 15 sales, that is not only calls that are coming from watching the webinar, but it also includes these from the emails. Sorry, that is a really good question. I'm glad you asked that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's so those are emails after the opt-in, right? Those are not getting them to show up for the webinar.
Correct. So these are the emails that get sent after they opt into the webinar.
Okay.
And these 59 calls and these 15 sales come from this funnel right here. So the Facebook group is separate. The organic two-step is separate. Make sense?
Right. And so I guess on your chart there, you're not really showing the number that came from the emails versus the ones that came directly from the webinar, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Now I can if I wanted to get super, super fancy, but whenever I'm looking at, now remember, we always want to solve immediate problems. Like, do I want to spend time going here? Maybe, but this is definitely the biggest hole that I want to fix immediately. Right. Could I make the emails better? Absolutely. But that's not the immediate place that I can find the cash flow.
Right. And that makes sense. But just out of in your experience, because what I've understood from people before is that a good proportion of the calls will come from the follow-up emails afterwards.
Absolutely.
Do you also see that generally?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. A general amount of calls will come from and in the $7 program, I teach you guys something called the ATM strategy. There's a reason I call it the ATM strategy, is because it's the two most profitable $2 ads that you will ever place. And so that is where the most calls happen, are the two retargeting ads that happen after they opt into the webinar and do not book a call.
Okay.
Very good questions. Yep. And Brittany, I am going to upload this funnel audit cheat sheet for you guys so that you guys have it. Because I think every single month, and even if you're just doing organic, or if you're just doing the Facebook group, right? Just write this down, like your organic two-step. the title of the content that you had, how many comments did you get, how many people did you move to Messenger? Super, super easy. Like this organic two-step right here, that's how I made my first and second six figures, doing nothing but that. Just going live, giving people a cheat sheet, having that conversation in Messenger with them. Now here's the thing. When I get into Messenger with them, I do not just drop the freebie. I have a conversation. Hey, thank you so much for watching my live. I noticed that you requested this. Like for instance, my latest one, I actually gave away this funnel audit as a cheat sheet. I said, I just did, and it wasn't even a video. I just did a screenshot of the funnel audit. And I was like, who wants to see the step-by-step training that I just did with my private Lean on Laurel clients? A whole bunch of people raised their hand. Whenever I got into Messenger, I didn't just drop the training. I asked a question. Are you guys even running ads? Are you even running ads, right? That's an important question. Because here's the thing, and this is what's important about my strategy. If I just went and dropped the freebie, right, into Messenger, what if that person's not running ads? Did I just do them any value to give them a funnel audit training? No. If they tell me they've never ran ads before, I'm going to find them a resource on the $7 program and give it to them as a freebie and say, hey, since you're not running ads, I think that this training would be better served with you versus me giving you this other thing. And all I do is nonstop, just talk to people in Messenger all the time. Yep. The Facebook group training is in the $7 program. Yep. It's in the organic strategy section.
Hey, Laurel, real quick question.
Yeah. What's up, Billy?
Did you see that before where you had to create a new business manager for a client through your agency?
Yep. All the
Because
time.
mine, I think I still get disabled for any tiny little changes that I make. So I think I'm gonna have to create a new one.
Yeah. So one of the things that we sometimes have to do is we actually have to completely, and sometimes this isn't necessary, but like, so for recently, I had this one client, we could not get Facebook ads to work without them consistently rejecting every single freaking ad that we were doing. And then finally they just shut down our ad account. And we literally, I was like, and I learned this from Dan Henry, so this isn't something that I made up. That we just like go to Best Buy, and I told her to buy the cheapest freaking laptop that she could find and get a VPN and get a new profile and a new business manager. And we were able to do that, and everything has been okay since then. It's a pain in the butt because Facebook tracks IP numbers. So even if like you start a new profile under a new thing, they'll be like, no, you can't do this. We see you already have an account. And what I'm finding is if you start a new business manager, to your question, Billy, when you start a new business manager using the same information, using the same page, using a lot of the same stuff, a lot of the bad stuff carries over with that. And so a lot of times what we'll do is we'll just start fresh with clients and just like have them do the VPN thing with the laptop. It sucks, but when you have clients that are making 6 figures a month, it's worth the extra trouble.
Okay, all right. I might be looking at doing that.
It's kind of shifty, but once you like figure out that it works, you're like, yeah, I got one over on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
I don't know if I'm muted now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Hoops Institute. I like that.
Well, it's on my main accounts on the but a quick comment on that last subject. I think you can also, they have like Google Chrome extensions, and I believe you can just get like a VPN from there and like change a VPN, I think. I don't know if that's still.
We have tried that and it does not work, but here's why. Whenever you join Facebook, they put cookies deep inside the computer. And so I don't know their magic or wizardry that they do, but they're able to identify a computer that is already signed up to Facebook.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's why like we've tried like the new thing, we've tried wiping the hard drive. I don't know why it works. I'm not very technical, as you can tell, but I got that because I went to one of Dan Henry's events in the Bahamas. And I was like, Dan, I said, like, I've got so many clients that I would just love to like wipe everything. And he's like, yeah, nothing will work unless you go get a new laptop. And ever since I took his advice, that's what we've been doing.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to come. I wasn't sure, but I've seen the VPN extension, but cool.
Heck yeah. If you could make that work, absolutely. Like we just went and bought, like I had her buy like an Acer or something, which is like a couple $100.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, Jenna says this is true. They get your API from that system and you're doomed. Well, at least she probably knows more about how it works. But yeah, we've tried like I said, I've been running ads for a long time. Like I started running ads. This is how old I am. I started running ads in 2008 when I worked for CBS. So that's like 12, 13. I've been running Facebook ads for 14 years now.
Wow.
So I just aged myself now. So yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
So if my daughter has like a Chromebook that she got recently, and I go like
Yes.
cafe and like with a new like personal profile, or like you mean like the business man?
Yes. Set up a profile like under your daughter's name, but like have some kind of weird like dog picture or something like that, and just like post cat pictures every day to make sure it's active, because Facebook will shut it down if it sees that it's not active. But I've actually had I've had people do that before, like set up profiles for their children and just run it for them, and just share with families and stuff like that. But it's up to you. But that's the easiest thing that we found that works for something like that.
And then you create a business manager that's linked to that profile, and then you
Exactly.
Instagram and all the other stuff after.
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. You only want to do that from that laptop. So like if she does like anything else, it might, I don't know how it'll mess it up or whatever. But Dan was like, do not do anything else from that laptop except use Facebook. But I'm sure you could play games or whatever, and it's not going to be a problem. I think he was just being a little over dramatic.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Good stuff. I aim to please.
Laurel, can I ask a question about step number 1?
Absolutely, Robin. How are you?
Good. How are you? I'm
doing good. I'm finally able to take a sip of my wine that's been sitting here. So I'll let you guys talk for a little bit. Okay. What's up, Robin?
So going back to step number 1, trying to figure out if you're going for scalability or cash flow. So I only have one offer. I have a membership program that's $50 a month. Now I've done one-on-one coaching in the past, and every once in a while I'll let somebody do it. Like if I feel like they're a really good fit. I coach breast cancer survivors.
Cool.
And so, which causes its own issues with running Facebook ads. And I think you helped me through a little bit of that. I actually got my first video ad approved today. Finally, I had to re-record it like 3 times to finally get Facebook to accept it. So, so I'm starting to figure out that part of it. But as far as choosing between scalability and cash flow, they kind of seem like the same for me, because my membership, I try to keep it very affordable because people are coming out of breast cancer treatments, which is expensive. So $50, I know, like in the realm of things, is generally a low ticket offer. But for me, it's still my cash flow also. So just, I'm looking for a little bit of maybe clarity on how I look at that. I mean, my goal is in the next 90 days to get 100 people. I have 30 people in there right now. I'd like to get 100 new people. So I'm up to 130 people. So would I look at a scalability then on that?
So have you found your way to this exercise yet?
I've, which one is, this is the low ticket offer one. No, I've not looked at this one. I looked at the other one.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. So are you running ads directly to the $50 a month offer, or what are you running ads to?
I've done different things over the time. I have found a workshop seems to be my best bet. I've also run just awareness ads to my podcast because I actually get a lot of my people who listen to enough podcast episodes and finally convert. And now I'm starting to do the ping pong strategy with the videos. So in the past, I've never directly run to my offer, straight to the offer. There's always been something, either my podcast or a workshop or something like that in between.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's very good. So if we go back to the way that I did it, right? So here, this organic outreach, like my strategy now includes getting on 10 podcasts and 10 trainings in other people's groups. I just didn't want to like overwhelm everyone here. That's why I pulled an older one. So whenever you go on podcasts, are you able to track the amount of people that join that $50 program?
So I've never been on other people's podcasts. I have my own podcast. And so
okay.
ads to like, basically like just cover art of episodes that I've done. Like I'll do a carousel ad or something like that.
Okay. Are you using UTMs in your podcast link so that you can track people who are coming through your pod? If not, it's not a big deal.
I'm not. I haven't done that yet.
Do you feel and it's okay. Like I'm not a major tracker because I feel like I'm one of those people that if you track too much data, you get obsessed and you end up making more mistakes than not, right? So I'm one of those people. So would you say, and I want to ask this in a way that's going to give value. Would you say that a large amount of the people that you're enrolling into your membership come from your podcast?
Yes, almost the vast majority of them found me one way or another through my podcast and then either have reached out to me in various ways and then ended up joining. Yes.
That's awesome. I love that. Podcasts are so freaking awesome and fun to do. So would you want to just keep doing that? Like because I love that you're doing the ping pong strategy. By the way, that's like my favorite ad strategy ever. Because what I do is I will run Facebook ads straight to my podcast. But what I'll also do is run my ping pong strategy to anyone who's ever visited my offer link and anyone who's engaged with any piece of my content. And so here's something that you could do, right? Like, do you have a solvable problem? Like, do you have how many people do you want to enroll in the next 90 days?
I'd like to enroll 100 people in the next 90 days.
Okay. How many people do you enroll now a month?
It's been very spastic over this year because I was building out the membership. And so I was always bobbling between, my energy was bobbled between the two. Over the course of 1 year, I had a total of 54 people enroll and stay for various amounts of time. So,
okay. What's your churn on that?
So it's at at about a 25% rate. Most people stay for 7 months. That's
awesome. So your average cart value 7 times 5. So that would be what, $350?
Yep.
A person. Like that's good. Like the average cart value, you could use that. So now you have a solvable problem, right? Like, if you run Facebook ads, right? What would you say you have an ad budget for? Like, what is a number that you could like say, you know what, Laurel, I'm going to test this for 90 days. And if I don't get it back, it's okay for right now.
Yeah. So I'm right now sitting at $350 a month is what I want to do for the next 90 days.
Okay. So if you have like a budget of like $350 a month, you could, if you got your average cost per landing page view, but I'm probably picturing that your landing page view would probably be more around $3 and probably more like I'm just taking guesses. It'd still be super profitable. Even if only 3%, and then you could ramp this back up, right? So let's say you have $350, you're paying $3 per landing page view. Let's say 3% of the people who see the ad convert, you're still looking at profitability here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I want you guys to use this. Now, here's how to use this, right? We want a solvable problem. Let's say she's paying $4 per landing page view. She's still profitable, right? Even if, now here's something to know though, right? She's not getting the $350 up front. She's only getting the $50 up front, right? So you have to take that into consideration. So if you're looking at, $50 up front, you just have to be okay with, getting $100 back and spending $250. But here's the thing, people stay on average 7 to 8 months. So bringing this back up to $350, you're profitable and you can enroll. So this is your solvable problem. So this is how I want you guys to use this calculator, right? Perfect. But if she only has a 2%, right? If only 2% are buying, well, hey, 2% at $5 per landing page view, you're breaking even, which is, it's not bad, but that's everyone's dream. But you still want to make, remember, this is a 7 to 8 month churn rate. Yeah. So you're breaking even. So that you would have to get at least, more than 2%. Yep. Okay. Right. Does that make sense though? How to make that solvable problem, whether it's like organic, whether it's paid, you guys are in luck because the paid ones are already done for you. Right. I had my team make spreadsheets for you guys, but that's something that a lot of people don't take into consideration. Like just do the math on that. Right. Like my client in Lean on Laurel, like she's, launching a $5,000 product. I'm like, well, and it's for chiropractors. I'm like, well, if you make 1,000 connections with 1,000 chiropractors, I can almost guarantee you're going to make your goal of 15, selling 3 of them in 90 days. And then all of a sudden it becomes a simple math problem. Yeah. That's what I want you guys to do is like I said, I'm a math nerd. I'm not a complicated math nerd. I'm a simple math nerd. Like there's math. We can solve the problem. Like a lot of you guys right now, you're not reaching your goals because one, you're not having enough conversations, whether that's through paid means or whether that's through organic means. Yep. There's going to be, I always give you guys a recording of this every single time. But nice to see you, Josh. I know this is, I think, your first time. Yeah, you guys are very welcome. I'm seeing all the first timers. I'm seeing all the thank yous. That makes me feel good. Does this make sense though? Like to where a lot of you guys aren't going blindly, or is anyone still totally confused? Yep.
Hey, Laura, can I ask a question?
Yep, absolutely. We'll finish things on Juan. How are you, Juan?
What's up, Laura? Doing good. How about yourself? Hope everyone's well.
I'm doing good.
Nice. Very cool. My question is kind of like when you first started, when you were charging the $497, what kind of service were you offering at that point? Was
the exact same? The exact same.
So yeah. you would build out the whole content system, like all the videos, you plan it out and help the client film everything and write everything down, and then you would just implement it for their campaigns.
Yeah. So the way that I do things with my clients, and this is the way that I encourage everyone to work with their clients, or whether you're working with an agency, I always encourage people like that. When you are taking on a client, it's a partnership, right? You're not holding the reins, because our clients will know their business way more than we will ever know their business. And so it's really important. So even at the $497 level, when I first started, I was implementing the power content strategy, the lead generation strategy, the retargeting strategy, all of that in. And so I was doing everything at the $497 level for my agency clients, as I do now with the clients who are paying me $2,000 plus 10%, profit share, whatever. Like I'm doing everything exactly the same. I just got better with time at what I do. Like what I showed you guys tonight, like I haven't had to take on an agency client because they love me for that, like being able to identify. And so if I can show you guys how to identify like really those like low hanging fruit, those big black holes, your clients will pay whatever, right? Like even if I charge like $5,000 a month for my clients to make 120K, that would be a no-brainer offer for them, right? So even at the $497 level, I was working my tail off, but I just got better and got more confident in me being able to charge more. I don't reckon, like, and everyone's different, right? Like I have like I don't know, I'm kind of like a spiritual person to where like I feel like my energy feeds into what my prices are. And if my energy is not where that price is, I can't sell it, right? Because my energy is not there. And so whenever I first started my agency, I charged, $497 until I got the energy to where I was like, hell yeah, I'm making a shit ton of money for these people, right? And so like I went up to $997, and then I was even getting better results because I was able to take on less clients, right? And then by that time, I was able to take, and Kaya can talk to this. I see Kaya just turned her video on. Kaya has been with me my entire, like, I feel like my entire business journey. She's been here from the very beginning. And like, to being able to charge what I charge now, it took energetic levels to get there. So I say, like, if you're comfortable charging what you charge, then charge what you charge. What type of clients do you take on, Juan?
Right now I take on all of them, so I don't even have like a filtration process. I kind of like, I've just recently like moved past the desperate zone where I'm like, okay, I'll do it, whatever the heck. I talk to them and I'll be like, yeah, I'll do it for this much, so I'll give you a free trial and then we'll talk afterwards after that month. But that's kind of, yeah, like I'm a media buyer, so I take on, like, that's my it's almost like the same thing you're doing, but man, yeah, like if I could just do everything you're doing, I'd be like super happy. But I suck at writing copy. I'm not really good at developing content, so that's really like my struggle, and that's what I'm like focusing on after watching your videos from the courses. But yeah, I have a low ticket offer, and like all this stuff is just raising brows because yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I want to make a bunch of money just selling this low ticket offer, and then it was like, man, I lost confidence. I'm like, it's not gonna happen. I'm probably gonna bump this offer up to like $200 or something and just try to sell it that way. And but yeah, I was trying to do it without any like organic post, any conversations, like everything that you're talking about is just, I've been missing all of it. So
and don't overthink copy. Like go into and I'm going to update a lot of the training. I recently just did a training with $7 members, and I put the training in the liquidator strategy, which is the slow funnel strategy. There is a copywriting hacks workshop that I did in there. Juan, go watch that, because here's the thing. I don't consider myself a copywriter, but I feel like I really know my audience, and I'm able to connect with them on that level. And we just want to get you to a point to where you feel comfortable just talking to your audience and just being super clear on what you offer. That's all copywriting is. Like, people way overcomplicate copywriting. Like I had a student this morning, literally inside my Lean on Laurel program. She posted in the group. She was like, do you recommend long form sales pages or short form sales pages? And I was like, well, like, what is the problem that you're trying to solve? Because like, I don't think that way. Like, I'm like, it doesn't matter whether your stuff's long form or short form. If the offer sucks, it doesn't matter. Like, if you can't sell people with one sentence, you're not going to sell them at all. So it's like, let's go back to that immediate need. And so I would say this, go watch that copywriting workshop that I did, because one, I think that it's going to give you the tools that you need to keep getting better with your audience, and you're a better copywriter than you think you are.
Very cool. Thank you, Laurel.
Because you seem very knowledgeable about what you do. And that's all it is. Copywriting is just being able to clearly identify how you could help someone. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to see that now, like with kind of the stuff that I was reading, it's like I just gotta like, it's a big old fog, right? And it's like, can I shoot through it? And what do these people want? And pull that out and kind of deliver that message. That's, yeah, it's helping out big time. Cause I thought copywriting was like this big old complicated system where I have to do wordplay, psychology, like
no.
what you're saying right now, like if I can't sell them with one sentence, I'm not going to sell them with a bad offer with 1,000 sentences, And yeah. I'm like thinking, okay, I got to write 3,000 sentences to sell a bad offer. But yeah, I'm weeding through all that stuff. So it's definitely like an offer and everything. Before I was like, I was struggling a lot because it was like, you feel the pressure sometimes. Like you're like, if you're writing ads, the ads have to make the sales, and if the ads don't make the sale, you suck as a media buyer. And it's just not totally the case. The media buyer is just like, getting the content and distributing it to people that want that offer almost, that's kind of like what I'm understanding most. But yeah, sorry I talk a lot.
No, that's okay. It's just being able to communicate in one sentence, right? Like all of you guys are sitting right here because I was able to say, hey, I'll help you with advertising for just $7 a month. You guys all said yes to that one statement. It didn't matter anything else. Like y'all were all like, yes. And that's the secret to writing if you can write a 1-sentence offer, you can write a converting landing page, because that's all it is. Like most people don't even read the entire sales page. They just read the headline and the bullet points. Kaya, I see your hands up.
I know you mentioned the word spirituality. I'm like, oh wait, I want to talk. No, so I just want to say thank you, because you always deliver value, and I get on these calls when they're in the daytime, because your other calls are like at 6 o'clock my time, and I'm not an early riser. So thank you. But just 2 comments I wanted to add to this. Yes, I've been in Laurel's ecosystem world since the get-go. So I've gotten to see you grow and evolve, and just like, I've always thought of you as a rock star online. So kudos to you. But I wanted to speak to I forgot her name, the cancer survivor coach. If you call yourself that. I just wanted to go to the place of, last year I started working with a coach who specializes in thyroid cancer. And the place where you're at is really coming from the heart. And I love that. And with my background in holistic health, I'll tell you, there are people who have the money who are willing to pay you a lot more so that you can keep providing the services at a lower cost to the people that can't. So I hope you hear that from the bottom of my heart. I've lived it, and I've helped my students live it. And to Juan, oh my gosh, dude, Laurel's dead on when she says you look very knowledgeable. Now it's really like stepping into that energy and owning that you know the stuff that you know, and fine tuning it. Like just start practicing putting your content out and as concise and clearly as possible. Eventually it'll become second nature. I started out just doing organic videos. To this, sorry, I had a call coming in. But yeah, to this day, Laurel, I still get more traction from my organic stuff, whether it's on podcasts or on going live, on live streaming. Yeah, and I run ads, but I spend on a yearly basis, I'm probably spending, and I tell my students this all the time, I spend around $1,000 a year promoting my local practice. Now I have 2 offices, Laurel. I haven't told you that. And it keeps my staff busy. And then I get to go do what I love, which is teach and coach. And I do that 2 times a week for 90 minutes. So the stuff Laurel is saying, dead on point. She knows it. I've spent tons of money with other companies that teach agency owners. And at the end of the day, I keep coming back to Laurel. So thank you, Laurel.
No, thank you, Kaya. Thank you so much. Like Kaya has spent time with me here, and Kaya, you'll be happy to know that in my office right now is under construction. We're building a VIP suite. So next time when students come, they actually have their own personal hotel room in my office to actually stay in. Kaya was one of my very first VIP students that came over here, and we just worked on everything for like a couple of days. And she slept on an air mattress, and she, it's one of those things.
And I loved it. I loved it.
But now we actually have a VIP suite that is almost done. I'm super freaking excited. My premium students have been booking all of these, time with me, and it's just awesome to be able to work with all of you guys in person. Jovan, I see your hands up, so I want to make sure that I get Jovan. Jovan is one of my students in one of my private student programs. So I just definitely want to make sure that I hit him up. What's up, Jovan? And we're going to wrap things up with Jovan, because I'm almost out of wine, and my students always know that if I'm almost out of wine, it's time to go.
Hello. Okay. So I have kind of like a 2-part question, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
So I'm in the transition of trying to be able to leave my cleaning business and be able to make a just a business out of teaching people in my niche how to run their own Facebook ads, right? Instead of, like doing the whole agency thing.
Mhm.
And my first part of my question was like, is there a benefit of like doing a website versus like a Facebook group for it? And then the second question is, I know you have a low ticket offer calculator, and then there's another one, but what about a messenger calculator?
Well, you can do the same thing. It doesn't matter, right? Like just replace like the calculator that I provide with messenger conversations.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And so like, what about is it better to do like for a coaching program? Will it be better for a website or for a Facebook group?
It depends. I would need more context, right? Like I don't have a website.
Well, I guess a portal, I guess I should say.
Are you
Like,
talking about like for a program, like a membership program, like a
yeah,
or
yes, like membership program.
I would use, so here's my thoughts on that. I like using a Facebook group as a community and support, but
Okay.
I always feel like pulling people off of Facebook and having some type of portal works best, because I find when I keep people on, and there's a reason that I do these calls over Zoom and not just alive in the group, is because I want to pull people off of Facebook because I have all of y'all's attention. Right.
Okay.
So that's how I would do it. I would just build out a portal. Now, here's the thing. The very first program that I ever released, like I had my agency and then my lead, I call it Lean on Laurel program, which is what you're in. Like that program was first hosted as a private YouTube channel before I had any type of funnel software. So don't overthink it. But I was like, I want to pull my people on Zoom. And actually, Kaya might actually remember this because I think she was one of the first to buy the 45-day program. We hosted it on Zoom and I put the replays on YouTube. That was it. Like I didn't have all this fancy software. Like I think that if you provide your content in a live setting or replay setting, and then you use a Facebook group as a community and support, I think that would be just fine. I think you're just overthinking it.
Okay, yeah, because that's what I don't want to do, because I listened to some of the replay with your mentor, right? And I'm like, all right, what do I actually want to do? And I was like, okay, this is what I actually want to do. Okay, so this is what I should do. Okay, so then this, but I had a question about that.
Mm-hmm. So my mentor, Nick Peterson, as a matter of fact, all of his content, he doesn't have in a portal. He does it through YouTube videos and Discord. That is literally how he runs his entire high ticket program, is through YouTube videos and Discord. That's it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yep. So
Yep.
don't overthink it. You just have to, have a way for students to be able to get support, and two, a place where students could watch the content. That is all you need for a program like that.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. It's nice to see you.
Yeah, I was finally able to get in there because I actually saw the message from Telegram. I was like, all right, yeah, I got an opportunity. Let me get in here.
Yeah. If you guys aren't in my Telegram channel, if you hate like following like Facebook groups and stuff, like I always like put random stuff in my Telegram channel because I'm the type of person, my team has taken me out of Messenger and my team has taken me out of email, which, by the way, if you haven't read the book, A World Without Email, oh my God. So you get so much more done. But I created a Telegram channel because some of you guys just like a little something extra. So inside the $7 program in the group, I have a link to my Telegram channel. I always send out reminders about these calls. I send out reminders about just like YouTube videos that I do and just kind of random things that happen in my agency, because that I think it would be of value. I'm not the type that's going to give you guys content just for fluff. Like I'm always going to make sure that it's, oh, thank you, Janice. Janice, is it Janice or Janice? I have a friend named Janice. Janice. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Thank you so much. So Janice was kind enough to throw the Telegram channel in there. But yeah, join my Telegram channel. I just love like sending you guys daily, just sometimes they're audible, sometimes they're just text, but for those of you guys who want a little something extra, but I'm going to throw the download for the funnel audit with the replay for this. And inside the $7 program in the training site, you could always find the replays from these calls inside the Get Help from Laurel section. But I always found the replays too in the Telegram channel. So so Billy says, is it normal that I'm in 2 channels on Telegram? So there's only 1 channel, but I think that so Telegram is funny, and I'll end on this. So for those of you guys who are thinking about using Telegram or whatever, Telegram, in order to have a channel that people can comment on, you have to create a Telegram chat and then link it to the Telegram channel. So that's why you're into it. It looks like you're in 2 channels, but you're actually in 1 channel, and it shows up in 2 places because the chat is part of the channel. Otherwise, I would just be able to talk and you guys wouldn't be able to comment, but I wanted to create a place where we could talk back and forth. So that's why, but that's a really good question. But anyway, hope that you guys got a lot of value out of tonight. If you guys want, Lean on Laurel's full, but if you guys want to get on the list, we're about to open enrollments in January. So if you want me to personally help you with this kind of stuff, there's a couple of my students who are in that program. We got 14 calls a month. You guys get me. You saw that funnel audit. That's what we do. And that's what we work on day in, day out, all organic stuff, paid stuff. We work on everything. So if you guys want to work with me on a more personalized basis, and warning you guys, I am very good at keeping accountability because the program, I keep it super small so that I can actually follow what you guys are doing. So if you guys are interested in that, just hit me up. I'll send you guys the application. We'll be enrolling people here pretty soon. The program's full right now, but every couple of weeks, the waiting list opens up. So if you guys want to be on that, just hit me up and I'll hook you up with the application. But other than that, man, I hope that you guys have an amazing, amazing week. And I hope that you guys have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I'm super thankful for every single one of you guys. So you guys have an amazing night, and I will see you guys in the group. You're very welcome. Very welcome.